Macan GTS is one of the most underrated Porsches. I'll include a link to the Porsche SLC's website in the description down below. They're providing us with this Macan. If you have any questions, need any help, just ask for Matt Hendry. Let's get right into the review. Under the hood is a turbo 2.9 liter V6 that goes through a 7-speed dual clutch. Fuel economy 17 around town, 22 on the highway, with power outputs being 434 horsepower, 405 pound-feet of torque. So the Macan hasn't been redesigned in a long time, so it still has the cutouts here with the headlights and everything, because they used to do the hoods longer in the 2010s with a lot of cars. Love that. If you're looking for more unbiased, straight-to-the-point reviews like this, make sure you subscribe. Now, the Porsche design is simplistic. They all kind of look similar in a way, but with the Macan, I've noticed the headlights kind of more angular rather than more rounded off. And then you can see the little turn signal indicator down below, but notice it's very open. Airflow is important with the GTS. But yeah, lots of dark trim on the front. It's sporty and somewhat aggressive, but not overly aggressive, and I think that's why Porsche's just aged so well stylistically. 265 by 40 by 21 for the tire and wheel setup up front. You notice the red painted brake caliper, and you are going to get some nice brakes on the GTS. 285 by 35 by 21 in the rear, so slightly wider tires in the back. And you'll notice that everything is nicely painted to match. You do have some blacked elements like the roof rails and the door handles, the wheels to contrast too. Taking a look at the key fob, we have our lock and unlock, the opening for the hatch. Of course, it looks like a car in normal Porsche fashion. Now the seats do fold down flat, and one cool thing is each individual seat has its own fold down function, so you can have 3 up, 3 down, 2 up, 1 up. You got options. This can raise and lower the rear end to make access a little bit easier, but access is already really good. You can see a little spare underneath. But yeah, even though this is Porsche's smaller SUV, it's still very practical. And when you're all done, bloop. I do find it interesting that this is the popper for the hatch. It's on the bottom of the windshield wiper. Big old light bar there, smoked out again. GTS will always do kind of like the smoked out design. And then you guys can see the 4 exhaust tips there at the bottom. Blacked out spoiler up top, and that will cap things off for the exterior of the GTS. Let's now take a look at the interior. Just regular glass throughout, really tight fit and finish in normal Porsche fashion. You got nice stitching down below as well. Love the actuation on the controls. Sound system's great. Perforations in the seats. You got the red seat belts to match the exterior theme. I do have the seat back a bit, but still the Macan's going to be a little bit more of a compact vehicle in the back. If you want more space, you got to go up to Cayenne. Storage pocket. We do have heated seats in the back. We got some USB ports as well. And it does slope a bit, but headroom back here is pretty good, and we do have a sunroof. Keyless entry for up front, and let's check that out. Blind spot monitoring, again, regular glass. We've got really nice trim. I love the carbon fiber insert. More soft touch below. Got like the opening for the hatch, other window controls. The mirrors power fold in, memory seats. GTS on the headrest, seats perforated all down the center. Both the passenger and driver have a billion adjustments. Like seriously, you can adjust pretty much everything on the seat. And then this still has the old school, it's not the actual key, but you twist it like you're twisting key in the ignition. I love that. And that's something you'll notice about the Macan, because again, it hasn't been redesigned in a while, and I don't think it's a bad thing at all. Paddles in the back, you got Alcantara, you got the drive mode select there on the steering wheel itself. Got more of that carbon fiber there, all the stalks on the back. But yeah, look at the gauges, mostly analog. I think that looks great. I wouldn't mind if Porsche kept this gauge cluster for a very long time. You still get a screen to show you different bits of info, so it's still practical in that sense. Sport chrono clock up top. It's kind of hard to see because of the lighting, but it's got a nice red background and really nice trim here on the dash too. We do have a really good camera system. You can see at a bunch of different angles of the car. It's 360. And then as for the infotainment system, it's quick to respond. As you can see, you've got little shortcuts for a bunch of different items. Everything loads up pretty quickly, and it's nicely integrated into the dash. Lots of physical controls, so for like the volume and tuner, of course you got the shifter. It's got Alcantara on it. Actuation on that's great. For the climate controls, you do have a haptic feedback tab, but this is one that I don't mind because it actually just always picks up your finger really well. You can adjust the shocks, the suspension up and down. Most of it's climate related. There's even an off-road mode, which is kind of funny. Parking brake. You got more storage here. Good. With the screen faces out for the phone charging pad. Interesting. Soft touch, and then again more of that carbon fiber trim. And like I said earlier, big sunroof. Now here's our window sticker for the GTS. Again, you've got a base MSRP of 94, but Porsche options. You always got to remember, you're going to customize pretty much everything on the car. So they're always kind of like one of one. 123,240. Let's take it out and see how it performs. You know what I was thinking about as I was reviewing the two Porsche SUVs today? I was just at Audi yesterday, and Audi's been kind of Volkswagenized. I don't know what other way to put it. It's the nicest way I can put it. So I remember when I first started reviewing Porsche Audi, and you'd go from one brand to the other, and you know, there's obviously a quality increase when you go to Porsche, obviously. It's bigger now. Like, the difference is actually bigger now, because after reviewing those Audis yesterday and then coming here today to review Porsches, it's like they don't feel like the same. Like, they used to be like, oh, they're kind of like sibling. They don't even feel like siblings anymore. Like, the difference is so much more vast. It is crazy what's happened to Audi with the quality. If you don't believe me, like, just go look at a new Audi, and you know, like the new, you know, the new redesigned versions. It's pretty shocking, or at least I think it's shocking. I don't know, but I love the Macan. This segment of SUV is really cool because it's got, you know, it's got some practicality, but it's lightweight and sporty, right? Because that's one of the downsides with some of the larger SUVs like the Cayenne. Like, those are still sporty, but the Cayenne is trying to split the difference between being sporty, luxurious, comfortable, big inside, being able to tow. This is kind of more focused on the sporty side of things. So it's like for someone who doesn't have to worry about taking, you know, like having big car seats in the back and towing and all that kind of stuff, the Macan, it's like gives you more of a thrill. So I think that's kind of a cool part. Yeah, the quality with everything in here is really good. The auto stop start was a little bit sluggish. This turbo V6, I'm just letting the Subaru get in front of me. Yep, I let myself get passed by a Subaru. But yeah, this turbo V6 is very smooth. And it always surprised me, like, I'm usually not a fan of dual clutches in anything but a sports car, but Porsche's dual clutch tuning is so good, so top notch, that I don't mind. I do not mind at all. It's not weird and lurchy at low speeds, and it just does its job, and it does its job well. It's the best way to put it. It does its job, and it does its job well. I'd say this V6 sounds pretty good too, I think. It's the other part of it. These roads here are a little bit beat up. Yeah, see, even going up a little bit of a hill, it does not struggle. Not one bit. Pretty smooth. Pretty smooth with the setup. So I gotta weave my way back through the neighborhood a little bit, I think. I'm still trying to find a driving route. There'll be a little bit of a... Is this a... No, it says way. See, this looks like a circle. My guess is this neighborhood's probably like a mishmash of roads. This is one of those places where it wasn't, what do you call, centrally planned, which I think is kind of, this is not related to the car review, but I think it's kind of cool when you have neighborhoods like this because they have more of a unique organic feel to them versus when it's just a grid. A lot of Utah's a grid. So this is kind of a breath of fresh air in a way. But yeah, I just drove the Cayenne right before this, and it's interesting to see the difference in terms of the ride. The Cayenne's definitely more luxe with the ride. Now we'll pop it into the... Yeah, we got a Sport Plus setting too, even. Pop it into Sport Plus. Oh, this is gonna loop me back around. Maybe it's best if I just go back down that road and then back down the main road. That might be the best. That might be the best call. Because this I'm probably gonna get just like loop-de-looped in the neighborhood, back and forth and back and forth. Yeah, I will say it's handling the, even in Sport Plus mode, it's handling the bumps quite well actually. And the other nice thing about this is the size. Like, this is a tight road, and I feel very comfortable on the road. I don't feel like there's not enough space for me. So I think that is a plus as well. Yeah, crazy. Okay, looks like they got a turn, so we can kind of loop through here. So smooth. I love Porsche power. Like, they always feel like, the Porsches always feel like they've got more horsepower than what they indicate, but also just the transmission tuning is, and the engine tuning, it's so smooth. So it's just seamless acceleration. It's exactly what I want. Seamless acceleration. So, in conclusion, we're gonna get behind this Ford. I think the Macan GTS is pretty underrated. It's got great power, it looks good, it performs well, it handles well. I think some people might look at it and be like, oh, it's not updated like everything else, and it's not necessarily a bad thing. It's got a more kind of analog feel to it in today's world. And so I think that adds to the driving experience. And that's the thing that like, I don't feel like Porsche could lose, because if they make a car more, if they have a car like this is more analog, people will be like, oh, it's right. They love that part. And then if it's, you know, got all the modern gadgets and gazmos, people will love that too, because it's like, oh, Porsche's on the cutting edge of technology. So Porsche is one of the few brands that, yeah, whether they do tech or whether they do analog, people are gonna like it. So they really can't, they can't lose on that front.